Good afternoon. This podcast is the first of a series that specifically addresses the DFSA SEO letters that are published from time to time. Today, we have a detailed look into the SEO letter related to brokerage business models. The DFSA conducted risk assessments on brokerage firms to evaluate compliance with regulatory obligations in general, Gen, conduct of business, COB, and anti-money laundering, AML, modules. Here are some key findings. 1. Governance arrangements. Key points. Board composition, issues with the number and skill set of members and a lack of independent oversight. Senior executive officers, SEO's lack of ultimate responsibility, decision-making, and accountability. Conflicts of interest, SEO's engaging in active broking, leading to potential conflicts and a focus on revenue over management. Role overlaps, overlapping responsibilities among key individuals and functions. Dual reporting lines, confusion in accountability and decision-making due to dual reporting at firm and group levels. Action required, firms should review and adjust their governance arrangements to ensure they are appropriate for their business activities. This includes evaluating board composition, effectiveness, and clarifying senior management roles, responsibilities, and reporting lines. 2. Systems and controls and compliance resourcing. Key points. Compliance officer overload. Compliance officers are overstretched, impairing their effectiveness. Blurring of responsibilities, compliance officers are taking on broader roles, diverting focus from core compliance tasks. Client onboarding, clients were allowed to trade before proper onboarding and classification. Compliance monitoring, inadequate compliance monitoring programs with gaps in coverage, lack of monitoring/testing in key areas, and delays in conducting activities. Unidentified or unaddressed issues, poor conduct and serious breaches, including unauthorized communication methods and personal account dealings, were either not identified or not appropriately addressed. Action required, firms should review and enhance their compliance resources to match their business's nature and growth pace. This includes strengthening the compliance function and ensuring comprehensive compliance monitoring programs with adequate coverage and effective monitoring/testing. Failure to do so can lead to undetected regulatory breaches and conduct risks. 3. Client classification policies and procedures. Key points. Inadequate client assessments, poor evaluations of clients' knowledge and experience, lacking rationale and verifiable information. Outdated net assets assessments, conducted based on outdated rules. Over-reliance on head office assessments, without proper gap analysis to align with DFSA's classification regime. Compliance function challenge, limited evidence of challenge from firms' compliance functions. Action required, firms should review and update client classification policies and procedures to align with DFSA rule requirements, addressing any deficiencies as a priority. 4. Appropriateness assessments. Key points. Inadequate appropriateness assessments, allowing clients to access high-risk, complex products they may not understand or absorb losses from. Action required, firms should review and enhance their appropriateness assessments to meet DFSA rule requirements, addressing deficiencies as a priority. 5. Remuneration practices. Key points. Imbalanced remuneration, overemphasis on revenue generation without considering non-financial metrics such as conduct and compliance adherence. Lack of deferral and clawback provisions, missing or poorly implemented mechanisms to mitigate short-term risk-taking. Compliance monitoring gaps, delays in identifying breaches after compensation has been paid, promoting excessive risk-taking. Action required, firms should review and align their remuneration policies to promote a positive compliance culture and good market conduct by brokers. 6. Handling of staff-related misconduct. Key points. Recruitment oversight, inadequate consideration of previous misconduct during recruitment. Delayed disciplinary actions, delays or failures in addressing employee misconduct. DFSA notification failures, not notifying DFSA of significant rule breaches by staff. Training deficiencies, inadequate staff training on regulatory obligations, especially for those transferred from international offices. Action required, firms should review their HR disciplinary processes and training programs to ensure staff are well trained and misconduct is promptly addressed. 7. Outsourcing and reliance on group entities. Key points. Lack of local consideration, failure to account for DIFC/DFSA requirements in policies and procedures. Over-reliance on group entities, local staff lacked understanding or were bypassed in decision-making. Outdated service level agreements, SLAs. SLAs were outdated, lacking detail, or not reflective of actual services. Action required. Firms should review and update their contractual and oversight arrangements for outsourced functions to ensure compliance with DFSA rule requirements. 8. Suspicious transaction order reports. Key points. Inaccurate/inadequate stores. Reports were often inaccurate or incomplete. Lack of understanding, insufficient understanding of store requirements and market abuse detection. Outsourced surveillance, over-reliance on group entities for trade/market surveillance. Action required. Firms should ensure their systems and controls are robust for detecting and reporting market abuse. Stores must be accurate and complete. Proper testing and calibration of these systems are necessary to ensure effectiveness in identifying and reporting suspicious transactions. 9. AML business risk assessments. Key points. Lack of clear risk assessment and scoring methodology. Reliance on group methodology without clear application to the DIFC firm. Exclusion of inherent risk, controls effectiveness, or residual risk ratings. Generic and insufficiently detailed OBRAs. Lack of quantitative data supporting conclusions. Omission of certain inherent risk factors, e.g., new technologies, new products. Absence of detailed assessment of targeted financial sanctions. Failure to consider UAE national risk assessment outcomes. Action required. Firms should align their OBRAs with DFSA requirements, ensuring comprehensive risk identification and assessment, incorporating the 2021 review outcomes, and addressing any deficiencies. 10. Assessing customer AML risks. Key points. Inadequate or unclear CRA risk scoring methodologies. Omission of key risk factors, e.g., nature of business, product risk, multiple jurisdictions. Inconsistent application of CRA leading to misaligned final risk ratings. Methodologies preventing high-risk classification without manual intervention. Action required. Firms must establish adequate CRA frameworks in line with DFSA rule requirements to correctly identify and mitigate customer AML risks. 11. AML systems and controls. Key points. Outdated AML policies and procedures. Policies duplicating AML module without detailed operational guidance. Over-reliance on group sanctions procedures, lacking local operational detail. Insufficient management information, MI, covering key AML processes. Action required. Firms must ensure effective AML policies, procedures, systems, and controls tailored to their business activities, providing detailed operational guidance. 12. Customer due diligence. Key points. Inconsistent application of CDD measures, especially in online onboarding. Failures in identifying and verifying customers, beneficial ownership, and addresses. Action required. Firms must implement robust CDD procedures to ensure compliance and proper identification and verification of customers and beneficial owners. 13. Enhanced customer due diligence. Key points. High-risk customers approved only by compliance function. Inconsistencies in identifying and corroborating source of funds, SOF, and source of wealth, SOW. Action required. Firms must ensure robust EDD procedures, including proper corroboration steps, for high-risk clients. 14. Ongoing customer due diligence. Key points. Inappropriate manual transaction monitoring processes. Incomplete and outdated Know Your Customer, KYC, documents. Ineffective review and challenge mechanisms for transactional activity. Action required. Firms must implement effective ongoing CDD procedures, systems, and monitoring mechanisms to ensure timely compliance with DFSA rules. 15. Qualities of a money laundering reporting officer. Key points. MLROs overstretched due to insufficient resources, given the firm's size, nature, and complexity. Action required. Firms must review and enhance AML resources to ensure the MLRO function is adequately supported and effective in mitigating AML risks. To summarize, the DFSA has highlighted key areas of concern and suggested remediation measures for the same. Get in touch with us should you require assistance on making your compliance and AML processes better, or guidance on better corporate governance. That is all for today. Have a great day ahead.